Welcome to the DNA show.
I'm the A.
I'm the D.
All over your
face, kids. Here we go. Wow. I like the ad-lib. Okay. So, here at the DNA show, we always try to be fun. We try to
we try to be fun.
inject some humor, some love.
Yeah.
And leave you every now and then with a positive message. These times that we've been in,
Pretty serious,
pretty somber.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the whole Black Lives Matter movement, the death of George Floyd, the slaying of George Floyd in front of all of our eyes.
Right.
Skip Bayless called it a modern day lynching.
Which it really did feel that way to me, to tell you the truth. I've only seen photographs of lynchings, and that's powerful enough. But to see a video,
I want to believe that this can elicit true change. I felt it made me get a lump in my throat. Powerful. I think about George Floyd, being a grown-ass man, and that when you're scared, you call out for your mom, and that's what he did. And I have sons, and you have children, and if you can feel it, I don't care what color you are, if you can feel that from a motherly standpoint, a parental standpoint, then you know how powerful this change that we're feeling right now needs to become a reality.
Did you see the life get stomped out of a man?
for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, that's a long time to. He was, he had passed 3 minutes prior to that.
Yeah, who can hold their breath for 3 minutes?
Still, it's powerful.
So we haven't shot one of these in a while because, we've been trying to build our business, but we thought it was important to take some time out and address this social global issue.
Definitely.
I'm really proud to see the world stepping up, and
I'm grateful in our area, especially since we live in Orange County, to see people not of color, white people mainly, coming out in droves.
And it's really the
thousands
youth,
of people. It really is.
I'm really proud of. It's, I think it's really telling of our times that coronavirus affects the older generation.
Right.
And the youth are having such an impact on the future now. I just think Mother Earth is saying, hey, it's time to get rid of the old, get in the new, get some of these voices that have brilliant ideas and can break some of these age-old traditions.
Absolutely.
And lead us into a new way of thinking.
We'll be protesting until we see justice.
Earth, really.
Exactly. Some of the traditions that have never served us, but they have been time honored, and for some reason we just couldn't cycle out of them. So this global pandemic with Corona happens, and then people are stuck in their houses for 2 months, and then they have an opportunity to get out. And even though you see most people masked up, they're out there with their signs, they're out there marching, they're out making the cars and passersby honk, and it just has this palpable energy of support and love, and I'm really truly impressed and humbled by it, really.
No justice!
No peace!
No righteous!
Police!
What was his name?
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd!
What did he say?
I can't breathe!
What did he say?
I can't breathe!
What did he say?
I can't breathe!
So am I. And we've had, it's opened the door to some pretty great conversations.
Intense conversations at our house, yeah.
We have a bunch of mixed kids ranging from 21 to 5, and it's really, our 12-year-old saw a lot of the white protesters in Laguna, and he's like, man, sometimes I feel like it's kind of for clout, like people just out here because they need something to do and this looks good, and you asked him, what would you rather?
Yeah, I did. I said, Isaiah, which would you rather see? Nobody there supporting, and then, you'd have something negative to say about that, or them come out and risk being told that it's done for clout. So I'd rather have them come out and at least have a show of support. Mm-hmm. But that's my white perspective, and Dyson, our son, did shed some good light on, some introspective light on what's done for clout, and what do they call it? When it's performative.
Performative, right? We've all seen the Facebook videos of somebody giving a homeless man $5, recording his face, and handing a homeless lady food.
It does feel like, look at me, I'm doing a good deed, and make sure you get that, and on my good side. And it's just a little
clout chasing.
It's just nauseating a little bit, you know,
So
let's be honest.
we understood it from that perspective, but I wanted to record this moment because I feel like in 10, 20 years we're going to look back on this and be like, I was a part of that social change.
We will, and I want the littler kids who don't have as great a memory like Mia and Kingston to actually see it and have it impact them and know that they were there, to see themselves there, and that we were willing to take a stand with the people in our community.
And it was very telling that Mia, you know, our 5-year-old, she asked me as she's on, you know, my shoulders at this rally, she said, Dad, what are all these people doing out here? And I said, well, cops are killing black people. And she's like, oh no, why are the cops killing black people? And I'm like, I don't know the answer to that, sweetheart. It's a lot of racism, it's a lot of hurt people that want to hurt other people. And you can see her 5-year-old brain trying to like wrap around this
try to
concept
understand
of
that.
these cops that are killing people. And I don't want, and now it's a thing in our house where, you know, every time a cop passes by, everybody's like, oh, cops, get down, get in. You know, and I don't want them to feel like
She has to fear that.
fearful, right? Because these are the people that are supposed to serve and protect us. These people that when we're in fear, they're supposed to come and
Come to our aid.
come to our
support
aid,
us,
right? Be our
protect
ally.
us,
They were
right.
paid to
Right.
support
Serve
us.
and
So
protect.
it's a strange time we're living in. We just wanted to address that. We try to keep it humorous and entertaining and lively on here,
Absolutely.
but we have to address social issues. And as a mixed couple, that affects both of us on a major level. Me as a black man being married to a white woman and all that comes with that, and this, you know, this kind of bodacious white woman
We out there.
from Utah, you know, I have to, sometimes I have conversations and I feel, you know, very alone because I'm just not understood talking to another woman of color about this. But I have my sisters who, you know, lent an ear.
Powerful.
And I just think of all those mixed kids that
Feel
don't know
alone,
where
have
to
a
really
father,
fit
don't-
in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, am I black? Am I white? I know this is wrong. I want to stand with the black people, but I'm white also. I don't want to condemn my mother or my father. So it's just a very strange time, but I think it's a conversation we need to have.
Yeah, it's opened up my eyes, and I've realized how I've had my own microaggressions and how
Our kids taught us about microaggressions, little things
I didn't even
that we
know that
thought
was I didn't even know that was a thing, and because they are so aware and younger, and really, both of our older kids are really in the fight. I'm proud of them for actually teaching me, and it's a hard pill to swallow to realize that the things that I didn't even think were a thing are a really big thing, and it's very offensive, and to not use those terms. So I've really had to scale back and think and be pensive about what I say, what I do, and how I think about things, to realize that I have my own microaggressions, my own racisms in my own mind, and that's a hard pill to swallow, because you think, me being a white woman married to a black man, 23 years, have these 5 mixed kids, that I'm far more woke than I really am. I'm not.
You're still a white girl from, you know, suburban Utah.
Well, yeah.
Whitely homogenized
Right,
state.
very much so.
Thinking, especially
Right.
from that kind of Mormon programming,
Right.
like we have the fullness of the gospel, we know better than most, we know better than anybody. I can see how that would affect you.
Yeah.
But our kids ask us, how do we fight? You know, what are we doing? And that's why I want to take them to the rallies. That's why I want to talk about it on our show. Hopefully somebody hears this, sees this, and they start thinking about how they're thinking.
Until we lose our voice. Are you ready?
Oh, Daddy, look at that gun.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Absolutely.
And we fight by being a mixed couple.
Well, I was just going to say, what we do is standing together and work through some of the massive issues that have come from that stem from that. And still here, we stand together.
We were talking with Robert, and they said a black conservative politician woman was putting up George Floyd's full rap sheet, right? Trying to discredit his death. And you can pull my rap sheet up. Google me. We've had domestic violence charges. I've acted the
We
fool.
were on Dr. Phil.
We're on
for
Dr.
the
Phil.
cheating and the
I've
whole-
cheated.
Yeah,
I didn't have a father. I didn't know what it was to be a man. The only real positive thing I remembered about my dad was him telling me I was handsome.
Which is true.
So what? Hey, thanks, pops. Thanks,
Yeah,
wife.
you're-
But I went through life thinking I was handsome and just riding off that, because
In a
That's what my dad
predominantly
told
white
me.
area, right, where all these Mormon white girls want to have a mixed baby, and so they just tell you you're gorgeous, which you are. I mean, I get that.
I mean, you
understand
arrive in
that.
Shangri-La and you just ride off of
You're
people
not supposed
thinking
to
you're.
drink down the milk and honey.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Literally.
You know?
Like, I get it.
So
I get it.
I'm torn about that. I still think black women are beautiful. I'm still attracted to black women, but I've been married and with a white woman for almost 23 years of my life. You know? And so I never really fit in with the black people. I wasn't black enough for the black people, and I wasn't white. So my mother's Puerto Rican and Malaysian, and I don't speak Spanish. So I've always been kind of this bastard child, married to this exile of a Mormon woman. We have all these mixed kids, and nobody really knows where we fit in.
So we make our own place to fit in. We make our own stand. We take our own stand, and we make that space for other people. And that's what going to the rally was like for me. The protest was, here we are standing in our own truth and hoping that other people see that the BLM movement sees that as support, but all the other people of mixed race are like, okay, there's something I can look toward to feel solidarity with.
Yeah. So we fight, we want to mention it. We hope somebody has a good conversation about this. Maybe a mindset shifts or it opens their mind in some way.
I hope so.
And that'll be our contribution to the fight. And we do more. You know, our kids called us out like, hey, have you donated any money? You know, have you sent any cash to the Black Lives Matter movement? I was thinking about, at this rally, I really felt as people were saying like, hey, I need to donate. You always get kind of nervous donating to these causes because you don't know who's in control of that, where the funds are going.
But then I told him, you know what, when you give, you give. A giver gives, and you just give. And it's up to the higher powers that be. God knows that your heart is in the right place, and you just give. And that's all you do.
However those funds get mismanaged or whatever, or if they
Or
go to the
don't.
right place,
They're appropriated
then
correctly.
you have to give and let it go.
You
And
do.
I love that our pastor always, you know, has a saying when it's tithing time that God always gives a giver something to give. So I,
True.
you know, I try to keep that mentality. I'll be making a donation. You already made a donation
I did.
to one of the charities. What was that?
We did Take Back the Block.
Oh yeah, where they go into these.
Just so people in their community, let's say they have a domestic violence issue, women and children need somewhere to go, and the only resource is calling the gun and the badge. And they don't want to call the police, so if they can...
their husband or boyfriend arrested.
Right, they don't want to perpetuate the issue that is a real issue, let's face it. So if they have intermediary there in the community, someone they trust, a company, an organization that they can go to, then this money that we're trying to get the police departments defunded for all these, you know, the negative officers, and put back into the community where they can be allocated properly.
Excellent. So we just implore you to take some action, donate, go to a rally, open your mind about.
Start to see people who have different color of skin than yours differently, and even if you love someone that does, check your thoughts. What do you tell yourself? How do you view things that could be viewed as racially inappropriate?
Okay, here on DNA Show, you know how we like to start our show, right, babe?
Dope shot of the day. Shot. That comes later.
Oh, so this is the.
Yikes, I didn't know we were gonna do this.
So, in the midst of. Can we get us in there?
I
Oh,
miss
we
that
die?
hair. My kids, actually, Kingston saw this shot of me yesterday for the first time, and he said, "Oh, that looks like me and Avery mixed." And I said, "Well, weird, because I'm both of your moms." But I miss that hair.
Can we play it on a loop, Robert? I just love
That's
to see the transformation.
That's crazy. Really, I haven't done anything to my face. People ask me. That's the one thing I have, one body part I haven't touched is my face.
So you have the filler.
Lip
you know,
implants.
Lip implants.
That's it.
Filler.
I mean, from the time I was that was like, I don't know, I was 7th grade or something.
So,
Yeah.
okay, you can pause it there. So in the midst of all this, I wanted to take some time and wish you happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just turned 51, babe. The big 5-1. What do you know about that,
Yay,
girl?
A whole lot. Look at me, my neck, my back. I don't think that's because I'm old,
crack.
really. That's because I'm toting these 30-pound girls. And just, you know, I've been getting regular adjustments though, and hanging my head off the bed. And
But I think also with the
inverter
gyms
and-
being closed,
Yeah,
you're not
we're
working
not.
out.
Yeah, we're not. And I miss the gym. I really do. I miss the strength training. I miss the elliptical. A lot of it. So thank you. I'm trying.
So we just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. You know, I know everything's getting clouded with your coronavirus and the Black Lives
It's
Matter
not about
movement
me.
happening, but
not about
just
me.
want to take a moment to wish the Queen Bee happy birthday. And
appreciate it.
she's like Benjamin Button. She's getting better as she gets. She's getting younger as she gets older.
Thanks, Mom and
beautiful.
Dad. Good
So-
genetics.
20, 30 more years when you're 80 and they have nanites, will be able to keep you exactly.
I'm just gonna need to do something to my face here in the next little bit. MCR, please come save my neck.
And you are my dopest shot.
You're so
Every
sweet,
day.
thank you.
And
I
you
had
have dope back shots too. Let me see your back shot.
Okay. Oh, side shot, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay. He likes
like
this.
this, like.
This ruins every show. I'm sure it ruins every show for a long
Hey, fans, you like that move? I mean, you gotta see this woman's doggy style. It's a thing
The
of
women
beauty.
are like,
The guys are like,
ah, all over your face,
face, kid. There we go.
I remember. It's okay.
Okay. You know, here at the DNA Show, we love art. We love to support artists, and
We love Dope Art of the Day.
dope
Check
art
it
of the day.
out.
Check it out. Oh, that's cool.
Actually, it's supposed to be world's dopest dad.
Oh.
How did I send you the mom?
Hey, I think that was a
What a narcissist.
Freudian slip. You are dope, though.
This is the sweatshirt that I wanted to get for you because I thought this was so cool. Because you know how you say world's most relevant dad
Okay,
2020? That's really what it was. I didn't even see that it said mom. I just go on the sweatshirt for, yeah, because I like that. So you're thinking of me and I'm thinking
Oh,
of
so
you.
this is my
but-
Father's Day gift?
Well,
then?
I love this. I was like, do you like this? But
I don't know if I'm.
no, that's a little bit too much. That's why I
Yeah.
wouldn't get it because,
Yeah.
and plus it's repping Adidas and you're a Nikes man, so I couldn't do that. But
Well, I
you know,
mean,
this is a
Yeezys
little.
with,
This is a little.
Adidas,
It's
so.
true, but this is a little bit too much. But this really was supposed to say dad. So am I truly a narcissist? Holy cow!
Well, let's talk about your experience with weed real quick. You're scared of it?
I wasn't really scared of it.
Will you
No,
put us
I
back
was
in the
just
studio real quick,
programmed.
bro?
I was programmed to be, oh, weed bad, you know. And I didn't ever look at it. I was never made to. I didn't grow up with parents that drank or anything like that.
So you're Mormon parents, right?
So-
Your parents are in the
well,
Mormon
my dad.
Tabernacle Choir.
My dad did. My dad didn't get married till he was like well past 30. He'd been engaged 4 or 5 different times before he met and married my mom. So I think he's a
Probably had a
little bit of a
wild
play.
child.
I think he was a little bit of a playboy. He's the youngest of 7 kids, and my aunties told me he was. You want to know the real story? We'll tell you. And we heard some things. We were like, what? So they gave us a little bit of backstory, so I know where I get my wild streak.
Hey,
And-
Brazilian. God bless Brazil.
I know. It's true. It is in the blood. Much as my kids call me that old white lady, it's fine. I am. But I really realized that my first husband smoked weed. And I used to, I knew that it helped him, but I thought it was more for like, bro, and they just got stupid in the basement, you know, in the cellar. Because we had cellars in Utah growing up. Like it was literally dug out of the basement. And my dad used to come over and say, what's that smell? And, you know, he knew it was weed, but I was like, oh.
Trying to play it off.
Yeah, exactly. I just, like, too much tension. I didn't want to deal with that. I had to deal with a multitude of other things. Fast forward, weed smoker, but not until,
I was 21.
yeah.
Right? After I'd been
21,
with you a couple
22,
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. I just didn't feel like smoking. I didn't try it, and I didn't really love it. But I was more comfortable with it with you than I was with Sam. But I used to give you some grief about it. And then I think you gave me the flower at the BET Awards. A couple.
No, I gave you the dab oil.
What was it? Oh, the dab oil.
Yeah.
A couple.
So to start off with, she started with some little tea, right? It was like this Mother Mary's tea that she
Oh,
made.
yeah.
Or it was like a fruit punch drink.
Yeah, our nanny actually.
Yeah,
Our
the nanny was
gave
like,
us
hey,
that.
I'm way into
Just
CBD.
mix it in with your water.
Yeah.
Just try it, and I loved it. I loved the way it chilled me out, and then I had to take it to the next level. I was like, oh, good, let me smoke with him. The
Well, she
dab
started
oil.
smoking my little one hitters. You know, they look like a cigarette. Anybody remember those? They look like a cigarette. You put the little weed in there. And so she started smoking those, and she was like, oh, yeah, I love this feeling. I love it. And I was like, just a little bit, you know. And then after she'd been smoking for about a year, we're on the way to BT Award, and she's like, oh, let me hit your pen. And I'm like, babe, this
When
is
we're
dab
there
oil.
downtown. at the
And she'd been
JW
smoking to her a
Marriott.
year, so I'm like, okay, yeah, hit this. So she hits the
But
dab
he hit
oil.
it first, so it was already warmed up.
Yeah.
And then I did, and I was like, oh, this is good. And all of a sudden it hit me, and I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. I literally saw the face of God, and it was like, white girl mind opened up.
I guess the
Freaking out.
kids call it greened out. I didn't even know they had a phrase for it.
Well,
but I
that's
guess
about
you-
right. I
guess you
got greened the
out.
fuck out is what happened. It was scary, and
So I was
But-
supposed to shoot the BET Awards. I had to take her to a hotel and lay her down, get her in the tub, get some
I
cold
was so
rags.
fucked up.
She wanted me to call the police for, you know, a
Did
minute,
I
call the
really?
ambulance. Yeah, oh my God. I'm like, baby,
What
nobody's
a
ever
white
died
girl.
from weed, right?
But I
You
did
just mess with the
projectile
dab
vomit
oil.
coffee, you know, remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
that's
that
true.
was a little, I don't like to throw up. I
Yeah.
can be sick for anything, but I don't like to be nauseated. So when I throw up, I don't throw up when I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
So when I do, I'm like, oh no, it's my
You got
worst.
too high.
Yes.
Hey, anybody that smokes weed, you've been too high
Okay.
before, right? You know that feeling.
I
It's
was
scary.
too high, so then I scaled back. No more dab oil for me, and I just hit the little 150, you know, whatever, the little 150 hits, and I'm good now.
So now we have the disposable vape pens, and they have a little bit of weed oil in it.
And
She
it
likes
is
that.
my religion, along with wine. It's how I be married to him and have 5
Hey,
kids
It's hard out here
at the house.
for a pimp.
And it's,
When you're trying
it's
to get
hard
this
to
money for the rent, you know?
Please don't use other people's lyrics.
Sorry. 3-6
You're
Mafia
creative
shout out.
enough- you're
Zach-
you're
Terrence
creative
Howard,
enough.
my boy. Okay, so needless to say, so now she's a
I saw the
weed.
light.
She's a weed impresario now. You know, she loves it. She's oh,
I'm like,
Carl,
do
you
not
gotta try
smoke
this.
weed,
You gotta
okay.
get some weed. You know. So it's funny how we flip. We actually are going to start repping our first CBD brand, Our Life.
I was just
CBD.
gonna say, Robert, our videographer, gave me these little tincture drops that you put underneath your tongue and let it dissolve and just, you know, absorb into your system. I've given them to the kids when they're too rowdy and they go to sleep.
Yeah, they go right to sleep. It's
They're
a nice
just,
night.
yeah, they're not like drug the fuck out. They're just fine. Like it is, I realized too, I had the wrong idea. It's a plant. It's from the earth. You can't concoct it. It's God made. It's not something you have to take and mix with something else to make. It's just, Cat Williams said it best. It's a plant, and if you burn that shit, have to be close to the smoke. Then
The effects, there's some happy
Right.
effects. So we really love the Our Life coconut oil.
Yes.
CBD with her neck and these big boobs
oh
holding these
my
bad boys up.
gosh, I literally
We used it, you know, the first time, and I gave her like a 2-hour massage. We were just sitting
we
there
were
watching
both high
TV,
and happy.
happy. It was by far the best massage I'd ever given someone. You know, and she
How
was
did
so
you?
nice. She was
How did
happy.
you have a pleasurable
Yeah, yeah, I
experience,
had a
and
great
you were the
time.
one giving the massage? I don't care, but I'm
So
gonna
check
go
them
with
out, Our Life CBD. We
Love you
are,
guys.
yes, we love their
Absolutely.
product. Stronger than every other thing out there in the
Yeah.
market. We'll put the
Versatile.
connects down here in the bottom.
Yeah, they work great. They are great.
But needless to say, I think 2020, a lot of people's minds are being opened up to a lot of things, and CBD is the next wave. You know,
Yeah,
to kind of
absolutely.
free some people from some of their pain and some of the past misconceptions they may have had to
Your
lead them to a
thoughts.
happier,
Life.
more
Fruitful
full,
life. Yeah,
successful
agreed.
life.
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay. So, as part of reparations, I think you should do whatever I ask you to do.
Of course he
right?
does.
You know?
No, we're nope. No, no, we're not gonna do that. You're not gonna,
the white man
you're not
trying to
gonna
silence the black man's plight, right?
No,
Okay,
no,
so
no.
with that, let's go to something funny, right? We got
Yes.
some funnies of the day.
We do have funny of the day.
We don't have a dope shot yet. No?
I did. No, we don't have dope shot of the day. I
We
have
got some
dope part of the
funnies?
day. I have funny of the day, and we've got pictures of our beautiful family.
Oh, let's go.
I think Robert has all of those.
Yeah, throw one up there, Robert. We'll talk our shit. Okay. Oh, this is
This
one of
is
the time.
funny of the day. I mean, I gotta say, that's the God's honest truth. So we love every inch this way and this way.
All
So
6.5.
Don't let him lie to you.
Maybe I lied about the half. It's 6.
No,
You know,
it's
a thick
not.
6.
He thinks he's measured it, but he doesn't. I mean, trust me.
It's
When
7
it's
if I
hard, he
start
doesn't
from under
pull
the
out
ball.
the yardstick. Let's just say that. He doesn't pull out
I'm
the
not going to
yardstick.
gas myself up.
He's
but
way
thank you.
too busy doing other things. But I love this. I thought this is true. And you know what? It's funny, and I think it's a kind of lightens up the mood. In which, I mean, we're not
You
trying
can
to
have
do-
a sense of humor.
we're
through
not
this
trying to
time. Damn.
detract from
Yeah.
the powerful movement. It is. But you know what? Let's spread a little joy, and there's
Spread a
truth.
little love.
There's truth in that. Let's just be honest. There's definite truth in that. Watch that back sit.
Oh, back's tight. Okay.
This really spoke to me, and even though my children, I have a few children, a couple of the boys that could, or daughters that could pass, quote unquote,
Yeah.
there are, I mean, that touched me on a maternal level at that rally, and that's really what got, you know, a lump in my throat was, that could be my son.
Yeah, I love that part. I really felt your humanity and how you really feel for these mothers, you know, and just, damn, cold
true.
world, baby, dress warm.
And then this is the other part when my husband and I were watching The whole civil rights landscape videos, and somebody had done a montage. I don't know if it was Netflix or whatever. We were watching it, and I really
We Shall Overcome.
it's We Shall Overcome. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And what really spoke to me, right, what came into my mind was, for me, these are God's true people, is the black community. If you look at the light in the eyes and the smile, it's just pure joy, pure love, light of Christ. I believe in Christ, believe in God. It's just pure deity. And to really not recognize that I would be remiss not to recognize that. So for me, that's really what it was. And when I saw this sign, it really spoke to that. It was just...
Now, when I thought about it, you know, I've seen some of the blackest Africans, and when they smile, when you find one with a beautiful smile, there's something that just
It's pure
stokes
joy.
the God, you know,
Yeah.
joy.
It's deity.
I've never seen it with any other race. Just to see this
Exactly.
big, white, beautiful smile and eyes coming from this dark, I mean, it does something to you. You know, on the edit, I'll throw some of those smiles in there that I love, because
Yes,
it's just
you need to.
a picture's worth 1,000 words. You know?
This is why I love this sign, because that's what really encapsulated. And then this, to wrap it up, was, if you're uncomfortable, it means your eyes are finally open. Me, you know, like, it's true. Like, if you realize that, oh, it's a thing, and I've known it more so than most, especially where I come from. That's no excuse to just rest on those laurels. But if you're getting uncomfortable with it at this point, then it means you're finally figuring shit out.
Starting to see, and that's what I'm glad. Oh, damn.
I love this.
Yeah, I saw this.
I love
This
this.
was
This
dope.
is the coolest thing. Black Lives Matter painted across all the lines on the road that leads to the White House. This is the ultimate fuck you, Trump. Like, look at that. Like, you need to see, this is people coming out in a city that has a huge black population.
Yeah, imagine that.
And can you imagine how they are not felt, seen, heard, or understood in this city by our president? So I just love this. I love this. You really get a grand scope of things when you see how this is an aerial shot, but you see how small the people are.
Yeah.
And
damn.
you realize how powerful that is.
I want to do something like this.
Strength in numbers.
I'm in chalkboard paint right here in our
Oh, I'd love.
garage,
Yeah, I thought about
you know?
getting a Black Lives Matter sign and putting it out here when we've got the.
Yeah.
And
We
I
have a
did-
few neighbors that are like, I don't
I don't
understand why they're
understand the
rioting, and it
why
always
do they have to be
feels
so violent?
It always-
Are you serious?
it always feels a little like an underhanded, racist. I'm gonna slide that in there. I just don't understand why they're rioting. And what I always ask them is like, what do you do when you don't feel heard? What do you do for hundreds of years, thousands of years, when you've been mistreated and you don't feel heard?
Yeah, I mean.
And they've never been able to answer
There's
that,
not a
because
response.
I think deep down they know, hey, I get angry, right?
Well, yeah.
If I got done some
Yeah.
justice, I would probably get angry.
We're not
I would
just-
probably break some shit.
We're not
I'd
just
want to
talking
start a
about
fire.
one lifetime. We're
Yeah.
talking about hundreds of years, systemic, not just in certain communities, but in overall, like
Yeah,
the
the world.
whole, yeah, but predominantly
Especially country.
in the United States, you just get systemic racism, and I'd burn some shit down. I really would.
Me too.
I've been upset and broken shit, and I'm
Roll a
just
couple Molotovs up.
I mean,
So I want to do this outside in front of our driveway here.
yeah, I was wanted to
And
talk to you
want
about
do
that.
a
I
little
kind of
time
wanted to be
lapse
like a
about
little.
it. Yeah, just like
I want to have a camera out there to see what people do.
I want to do a time lapse. I'm gonna do the Black Lives Matter in black, and then I want to do a little portrait of our family.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. That's a
I was
great
thinking,
idea.
should I do a portrait of us all holding up like a black fist?
Yes.
But that's a little too. I'll just do a portrait of
Militant?
our family. Yeah, I'll just do a little portrait of our family, and they'll know that hey,
I think it's
black
pretty
people
cool.
live here, whether you like it or not.
Well, you know that, and it was all good when we were quarantining, but when this whole Black Lives movement came up, it really felt very divisive.
It
And
was
got very
crazy how from
quiet.
1 month we all, as a human race, were like, damn, this affects all of us.
Right.
Right? We all know somebody that's old, has respiratory issues,
Right.
young, you know, everyone. And so we've all not felt good. We've all been scared. Is this something more than just a regular flu?
Can this affect me?
And
Am
so-
I going to die? What kind of, yeah.
And so that united all of us, and then a
Mm-hmm.
month later, it was like we realized how dirty people are really getting done, especially
Well,
people of color.
And the line is becoming clear for those who stand on one side or the other. And I think that's why it's so perfect that it happened during a pandemic, because people really have to be introspective about where they're at, who they are, what they believe, what they think, what are they creating, what are they growing towards. And all of this really plays into that beautifully. So this couldn't have come at a better time. People think it's the worst, I think it's the best.
2020 vision, baby.
Real change.
We're gonna open our eyes. We gotta be able to see one way or the other. Mother Earth is saying, hey, y'all, everybody time out. Take some time off from the bars
Figure
and
shit
the
out.
games and the fuck off. This, the fuckery. Sit down in your home, be with your family, the ones you claim to love. How do you really feel? What's going on? And we've had our own mountains to climb. I've gotten into meditation because that's the only thing that keeps me sane with all this stuff going on. And she's gotten into online shopping more.
No.
You've always been into that,
I've
right?
got, yeah, that hasn't changed. Actually, I've scaled that back a little bit. I've gotten into more wine consumption.
Yeah.
So
She's-
that's how I deal with this one.
She's a sommelier now, so she can pair any wine with any meal you choose.
Any
Fast food
bag of
restaurant.
chips. I've got that. Wind down. I know exactly what Pinot Noir goes with those Doritos.
So
Thank you.
it's been a time to develop new skill sets.
Well, and I
That's what
fully
we're
turned
saying.
into Karen, so you're welcome.
Yes, she has become Karen.
I've got the mom bod.
It's hot to me. What do you guys think? I like it. I've been trying to get her to do this hairstyle for 20 years.
It's whatever. I had it. What are you talking about? I had this lifestyle. I had this hairstyle before too. You took pictures of me.
Yeah, it's
Remember?
true. What is
I've
old
had it a
shall be
couple of
made new
times.
again. So I'm glad to be in 2020.
I'm rocking the early 2000s again, channeling my 2000, 1999 look. You're welcome.
You're hot.
Thank you.
Come on, stop. Okay, so
Triggered a little bit
let's
about
show a
my
couple
friend.
pictures of our family. I think that's the best way to fight all this hate. This is the most recent one.
Oh, yes. Look at all their face. I love Avery's pose, our oldest daughter.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Who's that girl on the left? She's
Yeah, I was like,
banging." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa,
stop.
whoa, whoa!
Pump your brakes.
bro." That's the thing about a dad,
thank
right? You
you.
want your daughter to be pretty, but not too pretty.
Anyway, she got a man, and she doesn't want you, so thank you.
Our son's got the. Oh, this was in San Diego. We went there for your
Look
birthday.
at me opposed.
Hit
Ready
it,
to
girl.
go.
And our
This is
boys,
my
of course,
best
with the
side,
mask on.
Kingston doing his own. I don't know. This kid lives in Naruto land.
We had a discussion about the whole mask wearing thing.
Yes.
Right? And our kids educated us because she hates wearing masks. She almost got tackled in Walmart by 3 different ladies
I
because she
struggle
would
because
not
I
put
do
the
have
mask
asthma,
on.
so I cannot breathe with it on.
And she's claustrophobic, so she hates the whole idea of, especially just hating the idea of saying you have to wear this now.
Yeah, I'm kind of a rebel in my own way. Like, oh, everybody's
know?
doing this, and I'm like,
Like you want to
forget
go
that.
and be in public places, you have to do this right now, and that triggers something in her. So our kids
I
sat
hate
us down the
people
other
too.
day and they said, "Hey, wearing the mask means that you care that you're not spreading it
You're mindful of other
unknowingly,
people.
unwittingly. You're being conscientious and you're being mindful of others that you may have it and not even know it and pass it on." So when we saw it from that perspective, it got a
Yeah.
little less offensive.
I embraced it and thought, okay, I need to wear the mask.
Are you still going to have a hard time wearing the
I
mask?
did have a hard time when I went to Trader Joe's the other day, and I saw somebody without it on. I'm like, well, I'm not putting it on. I'm like, I
Well,
feel
that's the
you,
thing.
high five, thank you, because it's not required anymore, and in places. So I think now that we're phasing out of it and going from the end of the second phase or whatever, and moving to phase 3 here in the next few weeks, I think less people are concerned about it. And of course, I believe now from here on out, and we've discussed this, that people are going to feel some type of way about not having it on, and those that don't have it on feel some type of way about the ones that do.
Right. To mask or not the mask, that will be the
The
question of the future we go
And
into.
I always have lived by what you've taught me. Ask for forgiveness and
Not permission.
not permission. I just
Do
don't.
you think that applies to wearing a mask?
I think in some situations, if I'm going to the hospital, I should probably have it on. But if I'm going to the grocery store, I'm not that concerned about it. If they're not making me have it on, then.
And there's a part of your brain that's like, hey, in a year, are we all going to feel real silly that we got all masked up and...
I mean,
You
yes.
know, did we overreact a
I don't
little
know
bit?
if we're gonna feel silly, but the time will pass to where the heaviness of this situation will ease a little bit. Those that were affected personally, it's like the Black Lives Matter. If we had somebody that was killed in the
Yeah,
black,
that's true.
with this whole movement, we'd be a lot more passionate about it. So that's where I rested on was I have to look at that and say, if I'm passionate about it, then of course I'm gonna go, full guns blazing. But if I'm not, and it hasn't really affected me personally, then I'm like, and that's unfair. I that's not an honorable way of living. I can't
That's
say
true.
I'm who I am, and
So are you gonna mask up
because
now?
I have to mask up. So I have 2 cute masks. Where's my Brazil mask?
Oh, she's got
I really
Brazil.
love this Brazil mask. And then this cute girl, Abby, at my dentist office. We went to the dentist the other
She
day,
gave
and
you
she
a
gave me a Burberry. So I'm.
Oh, you're starting to get your mask
I'm super
fashion
excited.
up. Okay.
I mean, it messes
So-
with the lips. I wear lip gloss. I don't like it touching me. Oh, I'm already can't breathing, and I don't have a mask on.
Okay. Let's look at our cute family.
Let's look at our
What do you
cute kids.
think? You make great pets, baby.
We make great pets. This is why we don't have pets, is because we have a bunch of kids.
This is Avery, who just turned 21. We had 4 of our 5 kids' birthdays in quarantine.
Mine was the 5th birthday.
We barely made it out.
Yeah. Look at
Avery's a
that.
little blinking there. Damn, baby, your boobs are huge,
I
girlfriend.
tried to tell you this.
Oh, I love it, mama. Thank you so much. It's like bigger than, it's like 2 of Mia's heads.
Thank
Look
you.
at that. Add
It's
that
as big
up.
as your fat kid.
Oh, baby. So proud of you. Okay. So, in these difficult times, we hope that we can all
Come together.
come together
Have love.
right now.
Literally, have love over anything
Mhm.
else. You know, I was playing the song Ebony and Ivory yesterday, that Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson
Yeah,
song.
I love
And
that.
that's the truth. Like literally a nod to the keyboard because I
It's
love
kind
it.
of like us. Yeah.
The black and white keys, but really it is choosing love over anything else. And I know that seems simplistic, but really it is that simple.
Harder.
It's harder to do, it is, but really when you think about it, how would you like to be treated? And then
Treat
take
others
that
alright.
thought moving forward. Yeah, would you like to be followed in the store for no reason? No, you wouldn't. Would you like to be singled out because of
Or
any-
necessarily roughed up.
Exactly.
When you did something wrong.
You wouldn't. You know, it's just not. Just be just and kind. Just give love.
So
And-
my contribution would be to just start seeing everyone as human beings. Don't see him as a black person. Don't see him as a cop. Don't see him as a Mexican. Don't see him. We're all human beings. And Corona taught us all that. We don't care who
That's
you
true.
are, what color, what
Right.
do you do for work.
Right.
We can affect you. So let that be Mother Nature's call to action for us to open our minds up to start seeing each other as human beings. And if it affects one of us, it affects all of us.
Absolutely.
So let's go forward with that belief, and hopefully the latter part of 2020 will be better than the first part.
I believe that it will be a lot of change coming up,
A lot of change coming.
but let's embrace it
That
with
2020
love.
vision,
hope.
baby. You can see more stuff coming from her. Sign on to her OnlyFans. She's doing half off for all black people for reparations.
But you have to show me your ID and prove that you're for all reparations.
For reparations, it's going to be free for all black people for the month of June.
What?
We're gonna make a special video for Juneteenth. No, I'm just kidding. We out here. We love you. Stay safe, everyone.
Look out for that all black gangbang. It's coming.
Whoa!
What he didn't. What?
Set,
I'm a
cut!
puppet.
Cut!
Love you guys.